Let's get to the primetime spotlight. We got a Sunday night game. We got a Monday night game. We know people like to bet these standalone games. Thursday night football. Interesting game. Buffalo at Houston. Houston is a 6-point underdog at Hard Rock. 5.5s in a lot of other places. Look, I mean, who's playing QB? And I don't mean for the Texans. I mean, is it Josh Allen, who can be inconsistent and looks like he's pressing and is missing receivers? Or is it Josh Allen, the superhuman, who had 6 touchdowns against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday in a game that I think everyone is still getting over the hangover because it was so freaking wild.
It's definitely a game where right when you saw the number, especially there's 5.5s out there, it's like, how do you not want to just take the Bills after the game they've just had and what you just said, what we've seen from Davis Mills and we expect from this Texans team. So I don't know. I kind of want to take the Texans now that we're at 6, but I don't think CJ is going to play. And that's
I don't know if he is either.
Concussions, it's like everyone's affected differently for them. So it's really tough to even try to predict it. And it's a type of thing where we don't know. It's all in-house. My biggest issue would definitely be Houston as a home team. I don't know. It's not like they have that huge home field advantage. And
yeah.
Even their primetime numbers, the franchise, just aren't good. It's pretty alarming. They're 18-31 straight up, 15-32 against the spread in night games. So it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Historically, it's not a good spot for them. So it makes sense. The early money's coming in from the professionals and the public all lined up on this Bills team with so much unknown on this Texans team. So I guess I'll go Bills minus 5.5 for now if you can find it. But like we said, it's already -6 at Hard Rock. I could still, I guess, take the Bills. But I know it's super publicly and it's going to be all public money. But we've seen these Thursday games. It doesn't really matter. If it's a bad matchup and it's a guy like Davis Mills playing, it's a shootout. I just don't think he can keep up. So these short week games are just tough. And we expect Josh Allen to have a letdown game after putting up 6 touchdowns, but maybe he's on a roll. So I'm not going to try to get in front of it. I don't know about you.
No. Josh Allen with the epic, I guess, the rare backdoor favorite cover, being down 1 with 5 minutes left and winning that game by 12 is what closed at a 6.5-point favorite. Davis Mills, look, it's a short week. CJ's still in the protocol. We don't know what's going to be happening. He hasn't been cleared yet. They got the Bills, Colts, and Chiefs on the docket. The Texans are 500. You wonder, all right, do they sit him one more game, make sure that he's healthy for the division game where that might be in the standings for the playoffs, potentially more important down the road? Davis Mills, I thought this was interesting. Again, I'm not advocating for betting the Texans in any way. Davis Mills had another last fourth quarter come from behind win on Sunday. That was his second in a row. The last time Davis Mills started a game before this season was the last game of 2023 when he led a come from behind win for the Texans when they were in position to have the number 1 overall pick, but that win knocked them out of the number 1 overall pick. The Texans might very well have Bryce Young right now instead of C.J. Stroud if Davis Mills does not win that game for Lovie Smith, who immediately got fired for getting his team to win at the end of that 2023 season. My point in saying all that is, who knows? Maybe Davis Mills is just really good in the fourth quarter at the only time that matters, and the rest of the game he's just torture to watch. Possible?
Yeah, but that's impossible and consistent to know.
It is. Tampa Bay is visiting Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are 6.5-point favorites. Another week where it's a relatively big number for Baker and the Bucs. News from yesterday. Bucky Irving may play this week. Last week, Todd Bowles was pretty adamant he wasn't going to play in week 11. He was limited in practice, 3 sessions last week. Yesterday, Todd Bowles was a little bit more optimistic that he could play. I tend to think a big reason why this Bucs team has been struggling, you noted Baker scrambling, which I agree. I also think there's a dynamic with Bucky Irving that we're just not seeing from this offense that changes it for them. that started to become more and more clear the last few weeks when they've been struggling. Like, the problem with the Bucs this past week wasn't their offense, it was their defense and Josh Allen. So isn't this number too big for the Rams?
Yeah, and once again, it's just I think I'm too close to where like I think I should be on the Bucks like it was last week, but everything's telling me my instinct wise to be on the Rams here. And the more I dove into the numbers, the more it kind of played out that way. That this is technically a Rams spot, and the Rams actually play really well here. McVay, shockingly, after he plays divisional opponents, gets his guys up for the following game. He's 34-17 straight up, 30-17-4 against the spread in this exact spot after he plays divisional game. Where Baker, on the flip side, he's not great in these nighttime games, which I always thought was true. And like when I went back and looked at it, it's like, okay, how bad is Baker? Just especially, I want to dive into him as a dog because that's what he is here. So as a field goal more underdog at night, Baker 1-8 straight up, 0-8 since he's joined the Tampa this Bucs team. Him and Todd Bowles at night together, they're 2-8 straight up. So Bowles obviously isn't great at night games either. Pretty shocking though that Baker's had 13 games he's played at primetime at night. He's 2-11 straight up, 4-9 against the spread in those games. So whatever it is, like Baker, we love him as a dog. I was like, okay, are there numbers that back up that he struggles this game? Because I just can't believe how big this number is. Once again, it took a miracle for that Bills team to cover that number. Like Baker put up his best fight. He put up a ton of points. Now, we both agree Rams defense is much better than the Bills defense is, right? They have not had anywhere near as bad as injury luck as that Bills defense has had. So, yeah, it's 6.5. I get why the pros are betting this Rams team. I get why this number's move. So I'll go with the pros or I'll bet with the Rams. But I hate it. I hate going against Baker, but
hate it.
He just seems like he struggles in this spot.
Hate it. Here's what's interesting. The Bucs are playing Sunday night across the country. They could lose to the Rams. The next night, across the country in Northern California, Carolina Panthers are visiting the San Francisco 49ers. They're 7-point underdogs. If the Bucs lose and the Panthers pull out another miracle, which tends to be their MO, all of a sudden, the Panthers could be in first place in the NFC South. And I cannot get to the Niners -7 in this game because I think there are so many problems with their defensive backfield right now. And we're seeing it week after week after week. Brock Purdy coming back is great. That rush offense, when Purdy is there, Kittle is there, McCaffrey has more opportunities. He does call the game differently. Like, he sees the defense differently. He puts players in different position once they go into checks and audibles and things like that. But then I'm talking about then Mac Jones. I think the real difference here is Bryce Young scrambling, stepping up in the pocket, being accurate against the depleted Niners secondary. I'm going to have to be on the Panthers at +7.
I am too. I just do not get this number. It's another game I'm going to dive into more because we talked about it Sunday night. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe we were getting the Panthers +7. I mean, Hard Rock here has moved to the 6.5, which feels like it's the right line movement. How do the Panthers and Bryce Young handle him throwing for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns the week before, right? It's got to historically be a bad spot the following game. It's just you can't duplicate that, and it's a weird spot for this team where since 2018, this Panthers team, when they're coming off a game where they scored 30+ points, they're 5-16 against the spread. I mean, just a disaster. They're 2-13 straight up and against the spread in their last 15 times in this exact spot. So we're basically betting like we did last week. We need Bryce Young to be the difference. We need him to be the superhero because the trends are just terrible for this Panthers team. We
always need that. Their defense is terrible. They're not going to be
terrible.
Christian McCaffrey could run for 1,000 yards in this game.
He could. And what I keep going back to is just fading this 49ers team. There's tons of trends we've been going on this year about fading them after their wins and just how bad they've been at home as well. Like this, this year we've talked about it a little bit, but you can go back to 2023. They're 8-15 at home against the spread. 8-15. Like they've just struggled and been overvalued by the market consistently. So it's a not much to take away from other than the fact that they keep getting overvalued. Shanahan as a 6-point favorite. He usually wins those games. I think he's 9-4 straight up in this exact spot as a big favorite. But against the spread since 2023, I think it's since Christmas or right before it, he's 3-9 against the spread, including 0-3 in this spot where they are coming home as a favorite after a win. So we keep talking about that stat since Christmas. Basically, they win, they lose. They win, they lose. It's 1-15 now against the spread after a straight up win and a cover on the road. So I don't know, Chad. It feels like it's too easy. The public and the pros are with us on this one. All the money, all of it is pouring in right now at almost every book on this Panthers team. So I am happy to see the number moved. If it didn't budge, I would have told us we got to avoid it. But the fact that it's moved has given me some faith that we're on the right side. I think the books are undervaluing Bryce Young and how well he's played, and they keep undervaluing him this year. So we've been on the side with Bryce where he's laid eggs. We've been burned by him a couple times this year. But like you just said, defensively, this feels like a great match for the Panthers. I don't know if they can stop the run, and they sure as hell can't stop the pass. So if Bryce Young brings his A game, Chad, I think we got a really great number here with Panthers.
I agree.